This is the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast where we discuss Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man. I'm John, and with me as always is a boy who didn't get a good night's sleep last night, Zach.
Wow. Tremendous work, John. So organic. That's like crowd work. I just
Thanks.
told him I didn't sleep well.
That's true, and that's too bad. How was your week?
It was good. I just got back from a wedding yesterday. That was nice. How about you? What are you doing? You coming in hot with anything? I know you are.
Am I?
I know it's about that time for those darn kids to be getting back into school.
It is about that time. Yep. Today, Monday, August 11th, marks the start of my first full week back at work. Oh my gosh. And the kids come tomorrow.
And all of us that don't get a summer break are really feeling
Don't
for
care.
you,
I
man.
know. Nobody cares at all. I'm going to put crickets in when I say that. Or maybe I'll put in the saddest violin.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear all of the sound effects that you're going to go out and buy.
But here's something. The school supply drop-off was today. Oh, that's why I had to work till 5 today, which I know everybody else is also super, they feel bad about. So that's why you do it, right?
That's what I'm here all the time from my wife.
Oh yeah, she's going back also.
She's already back.
Wow. How exciting, webheads. You're going to get like a whole new podcast now that on the episodes I'm editing, because what you don't know is Zach's wife is actually a big part of this podcast in my mind, because she always comes in and has conversations, and then Zach always edits it out, I found out. So there's going to be a lot more Shyla now.
I think she's in the other room. Do you want to have
Wow.
your first John and
No,
Shyla
that's okay.
session?
No, we don't have to.
Honey, get on in here.
Oh my gosh.
He wanted to say hi. You hear that laughing? How could you deny her?
Hi, John.
We're back, Shyla. We're
Are you
back
guys
to school.
excited? Are you happy? Are you excited?
I am kind of excited, which makes me a little worried.
Okay, so you're a different position this year, yes?
No. Still, I'm
Oh.
my resource position.
But you graduated to be official teacher, right?
Yes, and I got my master's. So
Okay.
very official.
You're just going, oh yeah, I got my master's too.
Well,
He's very humble.
only because you brought it up. I wouldn't have.
well,
Have you guys gone back?
oh yeah, we're going into our second week. I already had to yell at a kid.
Second week with the kids?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Tomorrow
wow.
is meet the teacher night.
Wow,
Super
so
duper
why'd you have to
exciting.
yell at this kid? What did he do?
Because-
Regale the listeners of this
So-
podcast with your story.
Okay, hi listeners. I didn't realize that I was live.
That's because Zach always edits you out, but I edit the podcast now and I'm keeping you in.
You edit me out?
What?
You always edit me out when I'm on here?
Well, yeah, it's not pertinent to Spider-Man. And everyone knows everything we talk about has to be pertinent to Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Wow, here I am thinking I'm just a little seasoned into the Spider podcast.
I thought the same thing for like 100 episodes.
Well, I was doing hallway duty and helping kids with their lockers, and I hear, hey, who can touch the ceiling? And I run right in there because I hear this big thunk. I run right in there and I'm like, all right, who did it? They all fessed up and
Did they
pointed.
snitch?
Oh, they
Yeah.
snitched right away. It was so funny. Classic middle school. And it actually was a girl who's on the football team. Her name, I can't say. She's pretty edgy and cool and like, yeah. I mean, honestly, I would totally be her friend if I was in middle school, but I'm not, so I'm not her friend.
So you
But-
had to yell at her.
I had to yell at her, and then another kid was like, well, my mom has your number blocked. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Do you want to find out right now in class? Because we can do that We can call her right now and you can tell her why on the first week of school you're getting a phone call home.
Oh my
And they all were
gosh.
like,
Did that shut him up?
yeah. He's like, no, 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 no. I'm like, yeah. Phone number
Nice.
blocked. How is your week? Is this the first week back?
We had some teacher days last week, and
hmm
then we had a teacher day today and school supply drop off today. And then the kids come tomorrow.
Oh, you got your supplies dropped off?
The kids come in and like drop their supplies off. So I guess so like everyone's not bringing them at the
Um,
same time tomorrow morning when they come into
that's
school.
really cool. And you're teaching like middle schoolers too, right?
Yes.
Okay,
5th
so
through 8th grade.
I have to remember that you're in a Catholic school, so you guys have it more organized, and I'm saying this because I had to beg my kids. I'm like, if you would love to just give your donations to me, any supplies you have for our classroom.
Well, I could probably sneak out a million Lysol and Kleenexes if you needed
Hey,
Lysol or Kleenexes.
teachers helping teachers. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, I'm excited for you. I hope you have a good year, but also I have to tell you, you need to collect on that extra pay because you have a master's and you're officially licensed. So
Oh, trust me. There
you
I
gotta
had
be rolling
I
in.
I had many conversations. I had to fight like through 4 different rings of people to be like, "No, you don't understand. This
Well,
is how much I should have." And I got it, which is still like nothing,
good.
obviously.
I mean,
But,
yes, but
you know,
like, good for
yeah.
you for advocating.
Thank you.
You know what? You already have that fight spirit in you, so you get to like
Yeah,
just pass it on to the kids and say, you gotta advocate.
perfect.
Well, I'll let you guys get back to webhead stuff because
S-
Zach's like bored. Bye, John.
See ya. Sorry, even I had to kick her off. Okay. Wow, you said I had a big house. Okay, I'll take it. I mean, I wouldn't call it big, but well, it's
I
fine.
I think I said it was like 2 stories because we have a brick ranch.
Yeah, it is. It's also only half 2 stories though.
You know, I
Because the
kind of
second
liked that
the
though.
second story, yeah, it's like I kind of like that too.
It's
But
cool how open it is.
yeah, thanks, Zach. Okay, let's just bounce into wherever we're supposed to be because I'm excited to talk about the one and only Spider-Man Miles Morales. But Zach, before we do that, we obviously need a word from our sponsor, and I'll let you handle that.
Cedar Point Amusement Park. It's never been easier to get around Cedar Point.
It's never been more convenient to explore Cedar Point.
Every business says they're better, but the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Okay, we're back in this, and you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I'm gonna put in some thunderous applause here, and we're back.
You have wanted that for so long. I'm so glad you get to be the one to do
I'm
it.
going to. Maybe I'll have to put in when Shyla came in. I just had the idea. I'm gonna put in like the Kramer entrance with like hooting and hollering when he like slides in the door. Oh my God, this is gonna take me all week.
But it's going to be so perfect when it's done.
Yeah. Okay, Spider-Man episode 7 and 8 today. Where were we? Because it's been like literally a month since we went on Uncle Aaron's Mexican vacation.
Oh, no. So, if I remember right, and I'm sure some more will come to us, Jessica Drew brought Peter into the Ultimates and he had to
That's
save the
right.
day, and he earned himself a new suit.
Jessica Drew was here. I barely remember this.
She wasn't here long enough.
And Peter helped shield
Remember,
Miles. Oh, this is so annoying. Why couldn't it just be
the
keep
same
Peter
kid?
Parker as Spider-Man?
Yeah. Remember, he turned invisible and punched him, and they're like, "Great job, kid!" And they just opened fired on Electro,
Yes.
which
That was
I
Electro.
realized.
Electro like broke free or something.
Which I
Killed
realized
killed a bunch of unnamed guards and
it's
then was stopped by the heroes.
it's been a rough few months for Electro because he was also recently shot and killed by Aunt May during the
think you're
death of
right.
Spider-Man. She like shot
he looked-
him.
And he looked pretty dead.
He like blew up and took out all the other villains when he died. But nope, he's fine.
Wow. Well, you know what they say. Nobody stays dead in these things except for Uncle Ben and Bucky Barnes.
Yep. They do say that. And Peter Parker.
And Peter Parker. Yep, that's true.
All right, so we're getting into Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man issue 7 by Brian Michael Bendis. Art
How
by
long are we going to call it All New Spider-Man?
Well, it's technically called Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, but it does say all new on the title also. So that's a thing they do in comics. Sometimes things are all new or all different, and it's just trying to sell books.
Anything to make a buck.
Okay, so written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Chris Samney, colored by Justin Ponzer, and lettered by VC's Corey Petit. And we open on Miles in his room watching the video of Peter fighting Doc Ock. And he's trying to imitate the moves. It's kind of funny and cute. It's like when a kid tries to do the, Jordan Jumpman dunk or the Odell Beckham catch. He's trying to recreate Peter's moves that he's seeing on the screen, and he's jumping around and hanging on his ceiling. And his mom comes in, and we get the classic teenage superhero with a secret identity thing where he's like, "Geez, Mom, you ever tried knocking?" And she's like, "Why are you all sweaty?" And he's like, "I was working out." She's like, "Whatever, Miles, come down for dinner." And he comes down and he's having dinner with his parents, and his dad is reading the tablet, and he's like, "You guys see this? There's a new Spider-Man. What the hell is wrong with everybody?" And it's so funny that Miles sits down at the table and his dad, who we know like two things about, and one of them is he hates mutants. It's so funny. The first thing he says is like, "This damn new Spider-Man," to Miles.
Yeah, that is like his whole personality that we know about him is he doesn't like mutants. Like they never stop telling us that.
Right.
It's like all he can talk about.
Here's a crazy theory that I know isn't true, but it's like a headcanon. What if this is where they went?
Are you going to get a no prize here?
I'm going to get a no prize.
Okay.
What if the reason Jefferson Davis hates mutants and superheroes and Spider-Man so much?
Does this have to do with his Jefferson Davis name?
Well, sort of, but more so the fact that he has a life of crime in the past that we know about. What if he never stopped that, dude? What if he is like secretly worse than his brother and he just wants to get all these damn superheroes out of here so he can go back to crime?
What if? I've got another headcanon for you.
What's
okay.
that?
Well, yeah, you said go back to crime. What if maybe he was not able to continue his life of crime because there's just too many super villain people doing crimes. Nobody wants to hire a normal guy to do a crime anymore, right? They want like the Prowler or the Ring Man.
You're right. That is a very good point. So yeah, his dad has the most abrupt "what the hell is wrong with the world," Spider-Man rant. And Miles and Rio both look at him like, "What are you talking about? This is like, he's fine. We kind of think he's cool." He's like, "He's not cool. There's nothing cool about this guy." He says, "Do you remember when a crazy mutant drowned the city and millions of people died?"
He's not wrong.
I do like the fact that
you would be a little mutant phobic too if a mutant like caused the end of the world.
I do still appreciate the fact that, like, as bad as Ultimatum is, it still stands up as a big story, like, for better or worse, in the fact that we're still talking about it. Rio says, "I do remember that day, but I also like to remember, the little boy that dressed up and did whatever he could to save the city. And I remember the city honoring him when he died." And I thought that was pretty powerful stuff.
Aw, that's nice.
She likes Peter and sees him as like a good kid, like her Miles.
Yeah. Wow. And that probably means a lot to Miles.
He smiles at her and he says, I think it's cool, superheroes. And she's like, it is cool. And they do
His
share
mom-
a cute little look.
He's having like dinner, and his mom and dad are literally like, Spider-Man is a piece of shit. No, I think he's good, actually.
It's the angel and devil on his shoulders, but it's his parents at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And Jefferson says, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And Miles is just kind of looking back and forth at them and smiling. And it's cute. And we see him later in costume jumping around the city. Because remember, he doesn't have webs yet. And he's doing the Spider-Man thing.
I meant to say that. How's he going to practice these like fighting moves without webs?
I think practicing the fighting moves from a DVD was a bad idea anyways.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I thought that was a really stupid idea also.
It is,
I'm like,
but
well,
it's
it's a kid.
yeah, it's a stupid idea that two 14-year-olds would come up with together.
Yeah.
And so he's jumping around the city and he's doing like the Peter Parker thing, right? Ah, gosh, gee, golly whiz, my life sucks. The Spider-Man happiness pendulum has swung again.
Yep.
Why am I thinking to myself? Why do I monologue whenever I'm in the suit? It's kind of fun. And he's thinking about how he needs to like figure out how high he can jump, how strong he is, how fast he is, and how he can do that camouflage thing. He's like, how can I control it?
Did Peter Parker go through this also? Or did he just like see crime and started doing, hero stuff? Like
We
what-
definitely got like failing, I don't know what I'm doing here, Peter Parker, for I would say like the
But
first.
was he like practicing and like finding out his like
Well,
was
for
he-
him,
was he finding out his limits practicing, or was he just finding out what he can do by doing? That's what I'm asking.
yeah,
If you remember.
I think we got some training montages, but also keep in mind he did beat the shit out of Crusher Hogan. So that was kind of a dip your toes in the water.
Oh yeah, because he did like a
Wrestling.
he did a wrestling thing. Why did
Yeah.
he do that? To impress Mary Jane and buy a car or something?
You're not far off. I think it was like for the money.
Okay. And then that one guy was like, I got you for 3 minutes of playtime.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. Do go on, Zach.
And so he's just running and jumping and climbing the walls of buildings and stuff. And John, oh my God, this is what you were talking about earlier. There are things sometimes that you will see in the wild that you don't tell anyone else and no one else would understand. And then they come back. I saw these set of panels on like my Twitter timeline the other day. And then I was like, oh, that's about like where we are in the comics. And then I read this issue and I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly where we are in the
Wow.
comics. Peter is scaling up the side of this building and he like ends up on some rich
But
asshole's
Zach,
balcony.
and I hate to, you did put stuff on the internet though that could have started that whole chain, right?
Okay.
Because theoretically, the internet knows what issues we're on.
So is that there's someone in the world who's listening along with the show that posted about
No.
it?
No way. It's just like an algorithm.
It's like
that-
the dead internet theory that was a bot account that listens to my podcast and knows I'm the host.
I don't think bots listen to this podcast. No.
Hey, there's an
but
idea
I think,
for us.
But that's true. You know what?
We can get those numbers
scam-
up.
Let's scam the Better Business Bureau here. Dude, you'll never believe how this podcast is taking off. It's amazing how many people love Miles Morales. I never
God.
would have thought it.
I didn't mean for this to spiral so out of control, but I'll tell you what the like drama of the week is right now in the DIY emo
Please,
community.
bring it
is
on.
There's this band.
Oh, in
that-
the emo community, even better. Go.
There's this band that like used to be kind of a like band that everyone knew and they were just normal guys, and they have had a glow up and they are now like playing some pretty big stages, and they're like full-time professional touring musicians. You know, they made it out of our little
Okay.
community. And there's like all these people now that like weirdly like want to cancel them and like, you know, make them out to be like pieces of shit, and they just have nothing on them. And this guy posted a 15-minute video rant about these guys and like dropped a bunch of screenshots where the girlfriend and tour manager of the band is like, hey, we're all like really uncomfortable around you. If you could like not come tonight, that'd be great. And he's like, oh, what? I can't even go to shows now anymore. They're trying to
Why?
kick me out
That
of
makes the band look bad.
trying to kick me out of my community. These people are
Dude.
stalking and harassing me. And it's like, you clearly sound like a lunatic, so I think you're the problem here. Where this connects to what we were just talking about is this guy was like, obviously what they were even arguing about or how they knew each other came out. And it's like, he had messaged them at some point and was like, hey, love you guys. You're doing great work. Just want to let you know I've been paying people to listen to your Spotify. Hope that rocks. And they're like, dude, that's like creepy. What? We didn't ask you to do that. This is weird. And he's like, oh, they don't appreciate everything I've done for this band.
Huh.
And there's a genuine discourse about whether they are wrong or this guy's wrong.
Well, they are definitely not wrong. It sounds like they haven't done anything at all. I don't know. Someone who's going to make like a 15-minute video, that sounds like
It says nothing. Like they're like, I don't just have allegations, I have proof. And then it's just like, he said, she said,
yeah.
bullshit. They were mean to me at the
and also
playground.
that's not proof of anything. That's so stupid. Like
I know.
Yeah.
It's very dumb. Anyways, I was like, there's discourse right now that's like not even 48 hours old. It's hot off the press. I watched it all go down, and I'm seeing people I know talk about it, and it's like, I can't believe this is even a conversation.
Wow.
And it's about buying listeners on Spotify.
Well, okay. Is that what the crux of why this guy's mad? He bought listeners on Spotify
For the
this
band.
and then he told the band, and
He
the
like
band was
wanted
like,
them to be like grateful
Okay,
about
that's
it
kinda-
and kiss his ass.
Well, okay. So here's my thoughts on it. They don't have to do that for sure. They also could very easily say, stop doing that. But if that's the only thing that happened and then they asked him to stop coming to the show, that's a little like weird.
No, I think there was
But
more.
that's what I'm guessing is
Like these people knew
the
each other
conversation was
beforehand.
probably not great. I'm sure it had to be escalated to a certain point before they were like, hey, could you not come to the shows anymore? Like some people are uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, and it's not even like he can't go to shows anymore. They're like saying, don't come to our concerts. Like we don't want you around like our merch person and tour manager and trying to talk to us. Like we don't care to see you.
I figured he was still allowed to go to other other
Right.
bands' concerts.
But he's like making it out to be like they banned me from the scene.
Well, sorry that there's all this drama going on in the emo scene, but I'm happy that band got out.
Yes, they're dealing with real grown-ups now.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. This is, dude, you can cut this if you want, but I have another story about that same band. When they were small, they like came to the Hoosier Dome, which is like the venue I've spent years of my life at. And my friend Andrea, who owns it, they got their tour gear, they got their whole bus and all their shit stolen from outside the venue, and they had to like go home and cancel their tour, and they were out thousands of dollars of equipment. And Andrea scoured like the local like Facebook marketplace until she found the people who stole the gear and were trying to sell it. And she set up a sting operation with like the state police, and it turns out these guys were like bad dudes. Like they were into like trafficking and like drugs and stuff, and the cops were already trying to like put together a bigger case for them, and they had her show up to meet these people for like
Who's Andrea?
She's the owner of the Hoosier Dome, my friend.
Okay.
So it's like someone went to her venue and robbed her friends.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
she went out for like justice. And they literally had her like approach these people in a Target parking lot and had like a hidden, police van and all these squad cars parked around back. And it's like she had to acknowledge, yeah, this is the gear we're looking for. This is the stuff that was stolen. And then these guys like circle them and
Wow.
Hot Mulligan gets their gear back. People are making like,
Oh, that's awesome. I was about to say, do you want to say who the band is?
yeah, it's Hot Mulligan.
Hot Mulligan, a
uh,
golfing band, obviously.
Yes. And there was like memes, like my favorite one was the Sunny title, and it just said like the gang catches a criminal. Also, a couple months ago, I was just in my local like vinyl store in Fountain Square, and the singer of Hot Mulligan is there like filming an acoustic music video, and like no one recognizes him but me and my buddy, and we just stand there and we get like a private Hot Mulligan concert that's going to be like
moly.
a music video at some point, and people are just walking in and buying records and have no idea.
I'd have no idea. I have no idea who that is.
Right. But if it had been
Could have been anybody.
but if it had been advertised, they would have like gotten a crowd there.
Oh yeah. Dang, well that's awesome.
Anyways, you're going to cut all this.
Maybe. Who knows?
Sorry. So anyways, this is Inception. We're working our way back through all the dreams. The thing that was so crazy that I saw both on Twitter and then in real life in this comic, it's Miles climbing up this guy's like penthouse, and he's like looking through the window, and you can see this guy has like, he's in his bathrobe. He's like made himself a comically large sub sandwich, and he's like watching Girls Gone Wild on his TV or something.
Wow, I
And
did not notice that.
yeah. Because that's what the person on Twitter was like making fun of. And Miles is like, oh, I'm just passing through. And the guy like collapses, from shock. And then there's an explosion in the distance, and Miles is like, awesome, perfect time to test what I've got. And he just starts jumping from rooftop to rooftop until he gets to the scene of the crime and he sees Omega Red.
We love this guy.
We love him. He's fun. He's Russian.
Yes.
And he says, oh no, not another one, talking about Spider-Man. And Miles says, I was thinking the exact same thing. And meanwhile, in the Tinkerer's workshop, we see him there, just a tinkering. And the Prowler sneaks up behind him. And he's like, you dirty crook, you ripped me off. You sold me something that only worked twice. And he's like, it was only supposed to work once. He's like, it's a getaway jacket. If you don't know, to get away after it buys you time, then that's your fault. And Aaron's like, I got locked up in a Mexican jail. And Tinker's like, that's still not my problem.
It's not the Tinkerer's problem.
No, I'm sure he has like a no refunds, no liability policy.
Uncle Aaron's being totally unreasonable.
Yeah.
And
And
you
he
buy
like,
a gun that can shoot 6 times and you try to shoot it a 7th, that's on you.
yeah,
Right, Uncle Aaron?
that's
Right,
basically
Zach?
what he did. Yeah. And he like pulls out the newspaper and it says a new Spider-Man is in town. And he's like, what do you know about this? And he's like, I don't know anything. And he's like, kind of figures out, he's like, word is, Osborn created a genetically altered spider that bit the Parker kid. That's how he got his powers. And he's like, Osborn was probably trying to recreate it and just made more spiders. And he's like, okay, tell me about this spider. Does it like have a number on it? And the Tinker's like, yeah, I'm sure it would. Like, they'd catalog their experiments. Anyways, what are we talking about? And Aaron shoots him in the face and kills him.
Uncle Aaron's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He
They
went
keep
from
telling it to us, and we didn't want to believe it.
I didn't believe it. I thought he was just a petty criminal with a cool costume and, he's just a cool dude.
No, he just blew the Tinker's head smooth off. Anyways, back at the fight with Omega Red, Miles is running around, and Omega Red's like, I'm gonna kill you for last time, and Miles is like, I think you're thinking of a different guy. And he's like, no one gets away from Omega Red. And Miles says, is that really the name you're gonna go with? And
Is Omega Red a mutant, isn't he? Did you tell me that?
yeah, he's generally an X-Men character.
Well,
He's
on
like,
the bright side, Miles' dad would be really proud of him right now.
oh, sure, he's stopping one of those muties.
Yeah. Those ugly muties. Send them all to what's that what's that? The Gorlins or what's
The
it called?
Morlock tunnels.
The Morlocks.
You don't belong with us surface dwellers.
Just kidding. Zach and I don't believe that. That's
No.
Jefferson Davis's belief.
And his partner, Ulysses S. Grant.
No.
What if they had done? Oh, no, Grant
yeah,
was the
there you
good guy.
go. Yes,
I'm so
Grant was
dumb.
the good guy.
Robert E. Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're fighting Omega Red, and this is kind of cute. Miles is like, your name's Omega Red? Is that really what you're going to stick with? And Omega Red's like, shut up. Anyways, they're fighting, and Omega Red obviously looks like a dork. So Miles makes a joke and says, you're not going to believe this. I almost wore the exact same outfit today. And Omega Red's like, oh, come on. You used that line last time. I knew you weren't really dead. And Miles is like, I did. It's fun. We just keep
And then
playing
he monologues. He did, like thinking about the other Peter
about
Parker.
Peter.
About Peter. The other Peter Parker.
The only Peter Parker. Yeah, that's so cute. They keep playing with like the idea that Miles and Peter, like, if they had met, would have been like best
It
friends.
is kind of cute.
Omega Red chucks him and he's like, Omega Red, kid, that's my name. That's the name of the guy who ripped you into 4 equal pieces. Son of a... And then he like is looking for Miles because he just threw him and he wants to go kill him. It's like, dude, you shouldn't have thrown him.
I know. They're always throwing people away.
You had him right there. And Miles sneaks up behind him, much like Sue Richards did in last week's issue of the Fantastic Four we read. He like, oh, you stupid jackass. I was invisible the whole time, and now I'm behind you. And then he
Kinda
shocks
cheating,
him.
isn't it?
It's a little cheap, but you know what? It worked with Electro. I think this is just all he knows at this point.
He doesn't know how to play fair quite yet.
He hasn't leveled up his other attacks. It's like really early on in a game of Pokemon when you've just got Charmander using Cut against like a Caterpie and you're hoping it's enough. Then he uses his other cheap shot that he knows, which is his like Venom Blast to the neck. And I think this is the first time we might get it called that, because he says, he thinks to himself, Venom Blast Punch thing. He's like workshopping the names of his moves. It's so funny how much of like a 14-year-old he comes across as. And he knocks Omega Red out cold and he's like, hey, I did it. And then we see later at school at Brooklyn Visions Academy, Miles is like, so what was he even doing in there? And then he says to Genki, I don't even know. He said it was for money. And Genki's like, we'll look it up online. Maybe he was trying to kill someone or something. Guess I should have found that out. It's so fun. We have an excuse for a little punch 'em up that needs no further explanation.
Yeah, it's true. I wasn't even thinking. I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, you're like, we weren't asking, but they have to come up with some kind of reason Omega Red was doing something. And here the reason they chose is, who cares? Maybe there was no reason.
Yeah.
And they're just walking and having a good time. And then they pass by Uncle Aaron leaning against a tree, looking cool, but also
He's
a
never
little
looked
evil.
cooler. We can be honest.
Dude, it's so cool.
It's a bummer that he's so bad. He's bad to the bone.
He's got a cool little fedora tipped over his eye, but not in like a white person way.
He's like cool.
He's pulling it off. I got a fedora in Mexico, and I was like probably 13 or 14. And there's like a sweet spot where you just look like a JCPenney's kids model. When you're like 13, 14, you're wearing a fedora on vacation in Mexico. It was a great purchase walking around on the beach, okay?
As
soon as I get back to
on
America.
spring break in Mexico, yeah, you can delude yourself into thinking that you're pulling that off.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Soon as I got back home, what the hell am I gonna do with this fedora? This doesn't work.
Tried to wear it to school one time and got roasted.
No, I think I learned my lesson during the summer. I think that fedora was probably in the trash a week later.
But you'll always have Mexico, like Uncle Aaron.
That's right. And that's it. That's the issue. He's like, you've been busy, little man, and the issue ends.
Okay, what do we think?
I like this one. It was just a fun little... He's learning the ropes. He's testing out his new suit. We're letting Chris Samney draw whatever he wants.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with just a little, just one comic book story here.
Yeah,
He fights Omega Red. Bada bing, bada boom.
I think if anything, there was like a little bit of, you could either find it charming or you could find it annoying. But this issue fully leaned into like all the absurdity, which is like, why was the bad guy there? Doesn't matter. What are the parents going to talk about? I hate Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. It was so much things where it's like, of course, you know, he walks up on a guy who's about to watch Girls Gone Wild and then the guy passes out because it's funny. Like, we're just having fun
I guess
here.
it's true. Yeah.
This was a
we are just
deeply-
having fun here.
This was an unserious issue, but I see the humor behind it.
Yeah. Well, I liked it. So let's give it. I don't really want to rate this out of a certain amount of Girls Gone Wild, Zach, but that's what I just thought of after you said that. But if you have a better rating scale, please.
How many girls can this boat on spring break hold?
What?
Is this 100-person? I don't know.
I was hoping you would have something better.
No, shoot, man. I was gonna say out of fedoras, but that's not bad.
Oh, that's way better.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Out of fedoras in Uncle Aaron's closet.
Okay. I would give this
Because we know that man has a lot.
Yeah. I would give this like okay. I'm gonna figure out how to split the difference.
Yes.
I'm gonna say he rocks 7 fedoras
and an ascot.
and 1 bowler hat.
Oh, and a bowler hat. Okay.
I think Aaron could maybe do a bowler hat too. It's not a full fedora.
Let me
It's not
look
nothing.
up a bowler hat. Oh yeah, Uncle Aaron could rock that. Put a little feather in that. Yeah. My man's looking sharp. Okay. I was thinking 7.5 myself. I was like, when you described the issue, it reminded me of, you know, in Ultimate Spider-Man 1 through 160, there were plenty of issues that were just like this, you know, where he just like fights a one-off villain for an issue and then, you know, it ends. And I feel like our standard for that run was like 7.5. So I was going to do the same.
It very much feels
But I'm
like...
going to give Uncle Aaron an ascot instead of a bowler hat.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So 7 fedoras and an ascot.
He's a stylish guy.
Yeah. Zach, we don't hate him because of his style. That's for sure.
No. We want to like him so bad.
Yes.
I feel like this is also metatextually, like they're trying so hard to say, this is just more Peter, like this is a continuation of Peter Parker stories. Miles and Peter, they're like cut from the same cloth. You know, this very easily could have been a Peter Parker story.
Yeah. They even say the same things while they're fighting. They both got that wit about them.
Yeah. What can I say? The spiders bit the right people.
What if it just bit some like really dull person?
Dude,
Like,
that would be the
can't
worst.
come up with jokes.
Oh my God. You can't have a boring person be Spider-Man.
No, you can't. Okay. Should we do issue 8?
Let's get it.
Written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Sarah Pichelli, colored by Justin Ponzer, and lettered by VC's Corey Petit. And we open in Paris. And Zach, I know what you're wondering. Did I try to do a French accent to read some of these panels? And the answer is yes, I did. And it just wasn't good. So I'm not going to subject the listeners or really myself to that, because that I have to edit it as we've talked about before.
That's also good because these are not French characters.
No, but the newspaper is shown, and that's when I tried to read the headline.
Les Journaux Parisiens.
Yeah,
Encore Spider-Man.
that's much better than I had.
Let me zoom in. Un héros copieur de droite de la villa. Économie
That's-
parente. I don't know, dude. I've never...
Oh, something about the economy?
Something.
Wow. Well, who's in Paris? It's our
We can't say.
favorites. Oh,
I would advise you not to finish that sentence.
what?
John, what's Ball So Hard called?
Oh. And we talked about that song on last week's podcast.
That we did.
Wow. Well, I wasn't talking about Zach. I was talking about Aunt May and Gwen. And because as you remember, Tony Stark sent them on a trip around the world, or maybe just to Paris. And Gwen is loving it. She says, you know, they've been going to French patisseries and been getting lots of good lattes from cute boys. And I immediately wondered, because Aunt May says, Gwen, you say that about every boy in Paris. And I wonder, does that make Aunt May a little sad knowing that Gwen used to date her Peter and now...
I get the sense, I mean, first of all, it wasn't a super serious relationship, and I guess Aunt May did know it was going on, but I think she thinks of Gwen as like her adoptive daughter, and it's totally independent of like Peter. I think she
Okay.
just loves Gwen.
Well, that's nice. And that's what it seems like for Aunt May also. So Gwen and Aunt May sit by a fountain and they're sharing their coffee and donuts. And then Aunt May sees something that she doesn't like, as we kind of talked about, a French newspaper. And it says, Zach, you want to go again? Or it's up to you.
Journal Parisien, encore Spider-Man,
That was
un
even
héros
better.
copié Detroit de la Rue.
And for anyone that speaks French, that says new Spider-Man and then something else. And Aunt May snatches the newspaper away from a French woman, and she asks the French woman, what's it say? Even though it is pretty obvious, even if you just speak English, you can obviously tell what it says.
Well, this is a fun little callback to Uncle Aaron in the Mexican prison saying, what does this say? Does this say there's a new Spider-Man?
Oh, was it?
That's what, I mean,
And that one probably said like, Nueva Spider-Man.
I think it did, yeah. So it's like a funny thing where like his relative is abroad having this experience seeing Spider-Man on a newspaper they can't
Well, his
read.
relative's not abroad. He's a guy.
Sure, he's across borders. And these broads abroad.
These broads are abroad. Yep.
Yeah, broads in Paris. And I also think if we're going to talk about how good Uncle Aaron's dressed, we got to say that Gwen and Aunt May have been doing some Parisian shopping because they look like they're in some fine clothes. Aunt May's wearing some pearls.
They're pretty good. No one's in a fedora, but they do look pretty good.
And yeah, so that's the scene.
Now, here's what I noticed, Zach. This woman that Aunt May snatches the newspaper from, could a person look any shadier?
She looks like the female Unabomber.
I can't help but think this is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent keeping track of Aunt May and Gwen.
That just did this and it was orchestrated.
No, it's just random. But I just think I'm going to win a no prize here and say the reason this woman looks so sketchy and she's in sunglasses, which we know only people who are in Marvel movies who are trying to hide their identity wear sunglasses, is because she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Well, she's
So
got
we're going to give me that no prize. Let me take a second here and put the alarms in. Okay. That's fine.
She's also got an earring on that looks like it could be like an earpiece. She's got a leather jacket with the collar puffed up over
Yeah.
like her chin.
Yes. She looks very like inconspicuous.
She's got a bag slung over one arm. If someone was trying comedically hard to look like they're undercover, they would do this.
And as we know from S.H.I.E.L.D. being terrible at everything, this is how a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent would act.
I think you've convinced me, John. This lady works for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Thank you. I'll put the alarms in again, maybe. So Aunt May is not happy about this, that she sees the new Spider-Man, or that there is a new Spider-Man. And I shouldn't say she's not happy. Her and Gwen kind of share a look, more like they're sad. Like Peter's being replaced in the city is what I felt for them.
I think it's a more immediate reaction of just like shock. Like, what does this mean? I don't
think so. Look, Aunt
mean,
May
Aunt
looks
May
sad,
looks
and
sad.
Gwen kind of looks sad too, a little bit.
I think Gwen looks puzzled. But I mean, that's the great thing about art is it paints 1,000 words.
Yeah. So we're back to the Brooklyn Visions Academy. And Zach, should I get a Brooklyn Visions Academy t-shirt? Because the science teacher always has a Midtown High shirt.
Yeah. That would be
Maybe
awesome.
that's something you've cut out of our podcast every time I've talked about it.
I think it's made it in.
Maybe I should get a Brooklyn Visions Academy shirt.
Do you think she would get what it's from?
No, but I'd of course tell her.
Yeah.
Because I can't not.
I'm sure they sell them.
I always brag about my Spider-Man podcast.
Do you really?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So we're back at the BVA, and Miles and Genki are looking over at Uncle Aaron, And Miles is like, that's my Uncle Aaron. I got to go talk to him. You go wait in the room. And Uncle Aaron says exactly what he said before in Zach's issue, which is like, you've been busy, kid. And Miles is like, I don't know what you mean. And Uncle Aaron pulls out the newspaper from Mexico. Or no, this looks like it's an American newspaper because it's in English.
Yeah, he got a second newspaper.
Yeah, he did. Think of the planning that went into this meetup. He didn't just keep the Mexican newspaper. He went and found the Daily Bugle.
He had to do a couple different things. He had to break out of a Mexican prison, right? Light
Kind
work.
of
to a guy like
interesting. Kind of interesting that the La Mexica Journal and the El País Journal and the Daily Bugle all were running new Spider-Man stories on the same day. I
don't know
wouldn't
that it
think
was the
that
same
that
day.
would be world news.
You're right. Yeah, there should be bigger things going on in France and Mexico, probably. But
So,
then
Yes,
we
go
don't
on.
have our story.
That's true. Were you saying something before I rudely interrupted you like I always do?
No.
Okay. So Uncle Aaron pulls the newspaper out and he says, "A little spider told me exactly what you know. What you know. A little spider told me you know exactly what I mean." And Miles clutches his book bag tightly, and basically, he tries to, for like 2 seconds, he's like, "I don't know what you mean," and then Uncle Aaron is like, "Listen, kid. I'm your uncle. I've known you since you were a kid. You think I can't tell this is you?" And what do you think here? That implies that Uncle Aaron would have known it was Miles even without his clues that he had about the spider biting him. Do you think?
I think he's playing it off like he would have.
I think
He's
so
talking
too.
himself up.
I think so
he would
too.
have
I
figured
think
it
I
out.
think the exact same thing. So Uncle Aaron, during this whole conversation, kind of, to me at least, insinuates that like he's gonna like be using his Spider-Man powers and they can like go into business together. And I think it's like funny. He's like, "Listen, kid, you don't need to worry here. I'm great at this crook stuff. Like, this is right up my alley. We are gonna be fine." Is he being oblivious to how not into this Miles is being, or is he just like pressuring him hard?
Well, I don't know that he's like saying like let's do crook stuff. He says, "Hey, this is good news. This is the best news of your life. All your worries is over. Now you're a man, yo." I think we know that he sees an opportunity here to use Miles for bad, but I don't think he's positioning it as a bad thing. I think he's like trying to position it as like, "Hey, this could be a good thing."
Yeah. I mean, I think he's being pretty sketchy.
He does look
He's like,
sketchy.
You and me, we need to sit down and make a plan. You don't know this about your Uncle Aaron, but this is where I shine. We're going to turn all this on. And then he gets interrupted.
He's also a grown man crouching over a teenager he has pinned to a tree, pointing
Yeah.
a newspaper at him as he talks to him. It would draw some attention.
Yeah. So Uncle Aaron's being awesome. He's not being like over pushy or anything. He's not like formulating plans to like do crimes with his 14-year-old nephew. That's for sure.
No. He's got another
And-
cool hat on. Oh, this is the same cool
This
hat.
is the same hat. And luckily, as Uncle Aaron is not doing any of these sketchy things, a woman from Peter's school comes up to him and is like, "Hey, man, you probably need to get out of here." And Uncle Aaron is just what every guy in a fedora wishes that they were. And he's like, "Listen, good looking, we're just having a conversation, okay? Oh, you should smile more, honey. Come on." And she's like, you probably need to leave. And he's like, "This is like the Gestapo." And man, Uncle Aaron and his brother Jefferson Davis sure do like talk about fascism and fascist ideas a lot, don't they? It just seems to come up.
Yeah. It comes up more often than
And I know
Our
it's not on
conversations are-
his side this time. Like, he's not the one.
no, but
But
like
it
why was
still
that
comes
the
up a
first thing
lot.
you thought of? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, really what that means is it comes up to Bendis,
I guess that's true.
which
But
we
only
know.
with these characters.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Bendis?
The Davis brothers.
Up to no good.
And so anyway, he gets kicked out. And on his way out, I think he does say, he says, "Milady," and he tips his fedora. Zach, you're just a monster, man. Did you know he did that?
I
Did
totally
you like
forgot.
remember he had done that? So did
No.
I.
I think that's what Bendis is referencing, though. I think
That is
fedora
so
guys
funny.
were a thing in the zeitgeist in
Mm.
2012.
Yeah, they're always miladying people. And Uncle Aaron leaves the school, and we see Genki was watching the entire thing. He didn't actually go to his room. So we're back at the police office, and oh my god, dude, I'm so racist. I'm really gonna have to choose if I want to leave this in or not. Do you already know what I'm gonna say?
I was trying, dude, to offer you an out earlier. I was like, I don't think that is him. And you're like, trust me, bro. I read the issue.
Oh my god, dude. How much can I cut out before I have to just like explain this? Okay, so
I saw that connect in real time.
I'm gonna cut it out. I'm gonna manage to cut all of it out. Because I'm not gonna do that. So we're in the police station.
For what it's
and-
worth, I think it'd be fine if you left it in. Genuinely, this is not a real human being. This is a cartoon. And it's a cartoon that you haven't even seen the same character drawn by this artist.
And he's always a cop in the movies.
You've seen him in movies where
It's
he is the cop.
very important that he's in the police in those movies.
I can see where you came to that conclusion.
So we meet up in the police station, and this is not Spider-Man's dad. This is Captain Quaid, who we have met before with Peter, right?
Yeah, that was like the last cop that he had time to befriend
Yeah.
just before dying.
And dude, this issue makes so much more sense to me now that like just knowing where it goes, that's not Miles's dad.
Did
know?
you think that was another one of like the maybe fascisty things that the Davis brothers were into? Was like,
what?
I'm gonna wear a badge and be the authority.
I guess maybe. Didn't I say anyway? Okay. It wasn't one of the things. No, I
Okay.
feel like they say no, that wasn't what I was talking about.
He's just like mentioned it before, like
Yeah.
probably talking about mutants or something.
Yeah. Okay, so now Captain Quaid, we like Captain Quaid because he likes Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, he seemed to be a good guy. We didn't
Yeah.
see him that often though.
But we liked Captain Jeanne DeWolf too. And
That's
she
true.
ended up being a person for the Kingpin, which maybe does more help than harm if we want to really rehash old conversations.
She
But
ended
we're
up
not going to
being
do that.
a real Ralph DiMaggio.
Yes, she did. Yeah. That Ralph
Ralph
Macchio.
Yeah, let me.
Just Ralph
She ended
Macchio.
up being a real Ralph Macchio.
Yeah. So here's a fun thing that's a real callback to every time we're in the police station. There's some costumed hero coming through screaming about nonsense.
It appears to be a fat Nova Corps person or someone cosplaying as one.
Yelling about a cosmic cube.
Yep.
And Captain Quaid and some other cop are going to go in and interview the kangaroo who just got beat up by the new Spider-Man. And Captain Quaid is like, "Don't do that." And the other guy says, "Do what?" And he says, "Call him the kangaroo." He's not a kangaroo. He's an idiot. Either call him the idiot or call him by his real name. I love Captain Quaid.
That's some great dialogue.
I was reading this going, "Oh boy, I like Miles's dad, Jefferson Davis."
He's fun at work.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking. No, okay, it's Captain Quaid. So
It's a different gentleman.
yeah. And they go in and they interview Captain Kangaroo. And he's like, "You got beat up by a kid? That's kind of goofy." And the kangaroo's like, "Hey, mate, I want to file a formal complaint against you. So how about that, mate?" And Captain Quaid's like, I don't have time for any of this stuff. If you don't want to do the next 5 years in jail, you're going to tell me everything you know about Spider-Man. And that's basically where the scene ends. So we can assume that the kangaroo what's an analogy I can use here for a
Um,
kangaroo? Like
Shrimp on the Barbie. He's
so you can
wallabies.
assume that the kangaroo shrimp is on the Barbie.
That's it. Yep,
That was pretty good.
that was perfect. Wow.
So
They don't call him One Take John for no reason. I say in 2 takes.
So we're now in Brooklyn, New York. There's some shady underworld people, and you can tell that they're shady and underworld because they're playing poker, which, as we all know, is the shadiest game of them all.
You gotta be a real low-life scumbag to play poker on a folding table in a dark room.
You do. And they always fold. We can tell because it opens with them folding. And then they even take a minute to tell us that these guys always fold. Not very good poker players. You know, Zach, there's a saying in poker, okay? What's the best hand you can think of?
Dude, I'm so bad at remembering the names
Whatever,
of the hands.
just say anything, dude. I don't
Royal
care.
flush.
Okay. Well, there's a saying in poker, Zach. Nothing beats a pair of balls.
Ooh, that's
You
a
know?
good saying.
Yeah.
Is Royal flush the highest, or is there...
A royal flush is the highest.
Okay, I'm glad I got that right.
So as these guys are playing poker, some big burly gentlemen come in. One of them is like, I'm looking for Aaron Davis, calls himself the Prowler. And these guys are like, I don't know what you're talking about, boss. Hey, maybe you took your shirt. And then they high five as they're playing poker. And boy, shouldn't have done that. I'll tell you what, this does not look like the type of guy I would trifle with.
I swear, they drew Tony Soprano right here. I think they're like whispering into James Gandolfini's ear.
Dude, I thought he looked like the Penguin. I was like, did the Penguin come into Marvel shows? But he's kind of James Gandolfini. Is James Gandolfini bald like that?
Oh yeah, at least in The Sopranos.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's very much James Gandolfini. You're right.
Yeah.
I bet that's like supposed to be like him.
I saw that little panel and I kind of smiled. I'm like, oh, it's Tony Soprano.
Maybe listeners heard this before, or maybe we didn't talk about it, but a family of groundhogs lived in my backyard for weeks. And I would go out there and give them little seeds and nuts and watch as they ate on my back porch. And it brought me a good amount of joy. And Zach said it was like Tony Soprano, which with the ducks, which I've never seen before. And then one day, the groundhogs disappeared. They never came back. And I'm happy to say, webheads, and it made me very sad. And then I'm happy to say, webheads, that I did see just yesterday or the day before a groundhog coming out and eating again. And I hadn't seen them for like over a week. And but at least one of them is back. And I texted Zach.
I genuinely love how invested you are in your groundhogs. It's so cute.
Well, I'm not really invested in them. I just like them.
You wish good things upon them. You try to take care of them. You hope they don't leave your house, but you're not invested.
I wish good things upon my groundhogs. Okay, so this scorpion comes in, and we said you don't want to trifle with him. He doesn't like being, made fun of. And he slams his big scorpion chain across the poker table. And he grabs young Tony Soprano by the neck and says, "Where's the Prowler?" They all talk like that in this scene. And this guy's like, "Do you have any idea who I am?" And then the scorpion says, "Do you?" And he just kills him. He kills Tony Soprano. And he says, "I came here to settle a score, but I can see now that you are in need of some leadership." And he says, "I'm the kingpin now. Call me the Scorpion. And if any of you cross me, you're about to get stung." He
John,
doesn't say that, but it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. He says you'll end up dead. But
Yes.
other than that, John did the whole scary monologue pretty well. And it's like one of those shots from below where we can see the dead guy's feet. So it's like our eyes are like the perspective of this guy as he's dying, and the last thing he's seeing is Scorpion standing over him.
Ooh, I don't like that. Zach, you just gave me chills.
He looks so villainous, and he's ripped and
Wow.
tatted. I
He
know
is.
you didn't see the like
This is a kingpin right here.
oh yeah.
He's not the same as Wilson Fisk, but he's better than any of the other ones we've had so far.
He looks like the boss for sure. And this is kind of the version of the Scorpion that we get in the like Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show on Disney Plus that I talked about for a while. That I was just like, he's not gonna watch it. The kind of the big bad guy of that show is a Scorpion that's like this and is like, I'm taking over this territory.
Okay. Well, I am excited to see what happens more with him.
Nice.
Okay. Now we cut back to Brooklyn Visions Academy. We're back with Miles and Ned, and we kind of just see
Genki.
some. Sorry. And we get some panels that show that Miles is pretty much just floating through the day. He's just thinking about what happened with his Uncle Aaron. And finally it's night, and he's like, Genki, you got to cover for me. I'm getting out of here.
Dude,
And-
I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm blown away by how well you described that. When you say he's floating through the day, it literally looks like that's it. Like he's the constant in all of these shots, and then the world is like changing around him.
Mm-hmm. You know what it reminds me of that I wouldn't have touched on, but since you went back to it, that is there's some really good scenes in Scrubs that I know for a fact like has shown like JD in this same like situation, you know. And anyway, really good show that you've never watched.
The
Everyone
Vice
should watch
President?
Scrubs. Yes, the vice president. And okay, so Miles has just been like waiting for the day to end so it can be night, and he's like, Genki, you got to cover for me. I have to go sneak out. And he turns invis and he sneaks out and he puts on his Spider-Man costume. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. I was finally getting excited to be Spider-Man, and now my crook of an uncle just wants me to do crimes with him or something or other, and he's going to blackmail me, and I can't even tell my dad because then my dad will be like, oh, you're a mutant, I hate you, and he's going to kill my Uncle Aaron. And boy, there's just a lot going through. Miles is really having a hard one right now.
He is.
And
Can I touch really quickly on the one page of them in their dorm room
yep.
where it's like, okay, Genki's in on it, Miles is in on it. They've got this one other roommate, Judge, who they have to sneak around because Judge doesn't know that Miles is Spider-Man. And think about
Oh,
that.
yeah. And Judge is going to be someone. We can tell. Because if you remember, when Judge was introduced, he was in like a outfit that was just goofy and colorful enough to know that he's going to have some powers and that's going to be his colors. Or at least I'm still on that train, right? I'm going to call back to this throughout the series and see if it works.
What I was going to say is I feel like if we had kept following Peter Parker, if he had been allowed to live and grow up in this universe, surely the next thing people would have expected would have been his like college years. Like Bendis writes 10 years
Yeah.
of Peter in high school, and then maybe we get 5 or 10 years of Peter in college. And you get adventures like this where he's in
5
the
or
dorms.
10 years, as they do, as kids go to college.
Sure. Hey, mine was closer to one of those numbers than 4. And it's like, okay, we didn't get Peter Parker college stories. Damn, I'm so bummed. So smart of them to put their next character, even though he's younger in age, put him in a situation where he like lives in a dorm at his school during
Yeah.
the week, and he has a roommate that he has to sneak around. Pretty smart of Bendis, because he still gave you the Spider-Man living in the dorms
That's true.
story.
He had probably like wanted to do this with
I'm
Peter.
sure he had thought
Yeah.
about some scenes that he would have done, and he just adapted them to Brooklyn Visions.
Yeah. Nice. Good catch.
Thank you.
And So Miles sneaks out. He's going to go Spider-Man about just to try and clear his head. And he runs into none other than the Ringer, who you might remember is some guy that can spawn rings and fought Spider-Man before. And I don't really remember anything else about him. Do we like this guy?
He's kind of campy and fun.
Okay.
Do you remember who Peter was with? That might be a giveaway. Do you remember who Peter was with when he fought the Ringer?
Was it like Johnny?
It was Kitty Pryde. It was while they were dating. They beat the Ringer together.
Oh,
It was super cute.
that is cute.
So I just got a little sentimental thinking about you never know the good old days, John, until they're gone. Peter and Kitty being cute fighting the Ringer. That's like,
Aw.
wish we could have it back, but special because it's fleeting.
Well, we get the next best thing, which is Miles fighting the Ringer.
That's right.
But he goes in maybe a little overconfident and he immediately gets ringed. And he's not doing too well. He can't really breathe, but then he manages to, get a big kick on the Ringer. Of course. And he does a big kick and then he defeats the Ringer, but he's still trapped in the rings as the police officers come up to him. And they're like, hey, Spider-Man, we're going to blow your brains out if you move a freaking muscle, okay? And then thankfully, Captain Quaid is like, whoa, okay, calm down. And he's like, I need to talk to you, Spider-Man. And that's where our issue ends. So, what do we think of this one?
Oh, real quick. Also, I think it's so funny. The officer that says, don't move a muscle or I will blow your head off. Dude, the words and the art could not be more juxtaposed. This is like a roly-poly, friendly neighborhood cop with his hand on his radio and his other one leisurely at his side.
Yeah, that's true.
He's bluffing for sure, but it's very funny that those are the words that like Bendis gave him, and then this is the art that Sarah Pichelli drew.
Yeah, that is funny.
Anyways, I liked this issue. I like the rising tension with Uncle Aaron and Miles. I like the fact that Miles has this dorm life thing that, like I said, it feels like a smart use of a plot that they otherwise would have given to Peter. The Scorpion is really cool and scary. Tony Soprano's in this one. We got the cool going into the police station and there's a crazy person getting hauled through bit that we love, of course. And it opened with Aunt May and Gwen, so we know they're coming back in some capacity. That wasn't followed up upon at all. So
I did love that.
We have that to look forward to.
That did get me pretty hyped when I saw them on page 1.
The more I flip through it,
that was a lot of good things.
This is a really strong issue.
And the Scorpion kicks ass too.
Scorpion, Ringer, Kangaroo. We have so many villains in this one.
Yeah, the Kangaroo's fun.
You
did a fun French accent, and then I did a fun Australian one, so that's obviously a point.
Miles's monologues are great.
How about we make this out of
rings?
I was just about to say the same thing. Webheads, I'm going to edit that out, but there was a strikingly long pause between that, and then at nearly the exact same time as Zach said rings, I was literally going to say rings, so great job. I love it. Out of 10 rings. That's a Marvel character too. Oh my gosh, we're on it, dude.
Dude, we even managed to get in a post-credit scene cameo.
Wow.
We're so good.
I'll give this one 8.5 out of 10 rings.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I was asking myself, is 9 too high for an issue like this? 9 is
too high.
It doesn't have to be consequential for it to be good, John, and this is a very good issue.
Now, it has to be consequential a little bit to be a 9.
A year from now, if you ask me to describe Miles's arc, I'm sure nothing from this issue will come up. And yet, the timing was on, the words were on, We laughed,
Zach,
we
if
cried.
this was the Shocker instead of the Ringer, it might be a 9. Has Miles fought the Shocker yet? He did, didn't he?
No, he fought Electro. The
Did he beat up
Shocker.
the Shocker like right away, right when he got his powers? Did he beat up the Shocker?
No, he beat up the Kangaroo right away.
This should have been the Shocker. It would be a 9 if he beat up the Shocker.
Yeah. And he called him the Vibrator.
Or so, we just need Spider-Man beating up the Shocker, right?
We need Spider-Man beating up the Shocker, and we need the twice as sweet as money earned kids to come back.
Oh, we do need those guys. Yep.
Oh, I found out something interesting the other day. This is a blast from the past. Do you remember
Okay.
the Man-Thing and Lizard issue that we liked so very much?
Yes.
I found out the backstory of that because Brian Michael Bendis posted it on his Instagram. I guess I didn't know this. This was a cool thing about how Ultimate Marvel Team Up worked is Bendis basically gave his like dream list of artists that he wanted to collaborate with free reign to choose their favorite characters that they wanted to draw. He was like, I'll do whatever. I'll work around your ideas. You can draw Spider-Man and whoever else having whatever kind of adventure, and I'll write it because I want to work with you. And the artist he chose
that
for
is
that
awesome.
issue, who I cannot remember, unfortunately, may have been Jimenez, maybe? I don't know. That artist said, I want to draw Man-Thing and the Lizard. And Bendis was like, cool, let's come up with a Man-Thing Lizard story.
That's awesome. A Man-Thing Lizard Spider-Man story.
And I'm so glad they did.
Yeah, and doesn't Man-Thing like cure everyone
like,
with
heals-
like therapy or something?
Yeah, he just like has a healing hug for the lizard. And it's like,
love that.
go forth and be a lizard no more. John Totenberg. Totenben.
Nice.
Total.
I was
John
looking also.
Total Ben. I feel bad that I don't know this guy's work outside of that issue, but I still love that issue.
Yeah. Well, what do we have next week? Issue 9 and 10? Next week, don't forget,
So
we're
actually-
weekly now.
John,
Tell your friends. Buy us listeners.
I think next week we will actually be in Jonathan Hickman's Ultimates issue.
Oh my gosh, which you just told me how excited you were to read Ultimates.
That's true. I was listening to some.
Jonathan
Interviews.
Hickman, that sounds like the maker. Are
There's-
we back doing fun Reed Richards stuff?
We're gonna get some Maker stuff. We'll do some alternating between Spider-Man stuff and Maker stuff for a bit.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Okay, I'm psyched.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, great. What else do we have this week?
I don't have anything. Do you have anything else?
Let me check my notes. You know I always like to do something. Oh my gosh, my boss texted me. Would you like 2 Colts tickets for the thing? I haven't. No thanks.
Wait. For what?
Preseason game.
Oh, I was gonna say if that's regular season, you have to say yes.
Okie dokie.
I wish my boss texted me cool shit like that though.
I wish my boss talked to me during fucking work hours and didn't text me off the clock. Just kidding. She's awesome. It's like the principal of the school. Okay. No, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
So we're a week out from all of our Superman and Fantastic Four discussion. You have anything else you wanted to say?
Nope. I listened to it again, obviously when I edited, and I stand
Did the
by
points
everything we
hold up?
said.
Were we stupid?
No, dude, that was a hell of an episode. And if anyone thinks we're wrong about anything, that they're stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I just said that they're stupid, not then they're stupid.
No, it's
But
it's
they
fine.
are the idiots in this situation. Still.
Oh, I did see that. I'm caught up on It's Always Sunny, and there have been some pretty funny ones. I need to rewatch the last 2 because I was kind of doing stuff while I was watching them. But
I think I'm maybe 2 episodes behind now.
yeah, there's some good ones. One of them is like the season 1 episode, underage drinking, a national concern.
I heard they like remade it basically,
Kind of.
and their
It's-
kids are in it. The
Yeah,
McElhenney
it's pretty
kids are in
funny.
it.
Oh, are they? I
Yeah,
didn't know
apparently.
that. I didn't know that was their kids.
At some
Oh,
point, there's like little
interesting.
kids hanging out in the back of their bar, and it's like in the credits, it's like all these names
Oh,
that end in
interesting.
McElhenney.
Yep. So that's pretty good. And I don't know. That's it.
That's it. We've done it again,
No,
John.
come on.
Okay.
No. One of us needs to think of something. We can't just end the Spider-Man stuff and then end the issue and the episode like 2 minutes later. I mean, we can.
It just goes on and on like that until it eventually ends.
Okay.
Give me this.
Okay, that's it. That's it. What were you about to say, Zach? You've got it.
Give me this
We've done it
fantasy.
again.
Okay. Do you want me to say that?
Unless you have something. But if you don't have something, I'm not going to take that away from you because I'll let you say that.
Well, give me this fantasy football advice. I'm working on this dynasty trade.
Yes.
It's
I'd
been
love to.
my friend keeps we're just doing psychological warfare on each other. We'll text each other like, "Yeah, this is a big boy trade. I wouldn't hold it against you if you back down from it, And he's like texting me, "Oh, 86 hours and 41 minutes. That's how long we've had this, balls in your court, buddy." It's a dynasty trade where essentially he's trying to get Jamar Chase from me. It's going to be Jamar Chase and another piece, either RJ Harvey or Travion Henderson or a package of picks.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get Malik Neighbors and Ashton Genty from him. And in principle, we've basically agreed to I can give him Jamar Chase and RJ Harvey and some picks, or I can give him Jamar Chase and Travion Henderson, but I prefer to not do that one. And he wants Jamar Chase and Travion Henderson, and he has a first-round pick in the future that I want, but he doesn't want to give that up. He's like, "Well, if I'm giving that up, I want a little more." And I'm like, "Well, if I'm giving up Henderson, I want that." And it becomes this arms race where really we're just talking about the same 2 or 3 players in perpetuity, and both of us want to be the person who gets a little extra piece on top.
Yeah,
Right?
of course.
Give me that practice squad guy. Okay, well, that's going to be a 3rd-round pick. Okay, well, then I want this guy. And it just keeps building and building. And I think we both know, for the most part, what it's going to look like by the end, and that we will pull off this trade. What is the delay is which one of us looks like the bitch to the rest of the league, because they give up a bunch of seconds and thirds to get it done.
I would say that the guy who's going to look like the B word, because I'm doing the editing now, Zach, and I don't want to have to put in bleeps all the time, is the guy who's giving up both Malik Neighbors and Ashton Genty, which feels like it's better than Jamar Chase and anyone else, even though Jamar Chase is obviously a beast.
Yeah. I'm the side that would be giving up Jamar Chase. And in my mind, I'm like, awesome. I'll get 2 good starters for one. Obviously, he's probably the best player overall in this, but bench points do me no good. Let me get 2 solid starters rather than one great starter.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay, so do you think I can overpay for this situation? Do you think Travion Henderson and some picks is at that point, he beat me?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the dynasty stuff well enough, and I also don't know how good Travion Henderson is. I don't know what his career is supposed to look like. I know he just returned that kick.
I feel pretty good about
Oh my
him.
gosh. Listeners, I've got the sharp tip of the NFL season here coming up after Zach's story. If you've listened this far, oh my gosh, we're gonna cash some bets together this NFL year. Keep going, Zach.
Damn, dude, I wish this had been the beginning of the episode. I've been saying for weeks I'm going to put the feeler out on the pod to see who wants to join our fantasy league this year.
Oh, that's right.
There's 5 guys that are just in that league, waiting patiently for it to start up.
Okay,
And
if you're listening here, email in if you want to be in the fantasy league or message on Instagram or something. Last year we did 10 teams. It'd be more fun to do like 12, but
Ooh, you hear that, listeners? John doesn't think we can get to 12. Let's
well,
prove him wrong.
I just won really easily last year. I remember it not being that difficult.
Yeah, your team was pretty goated.
Yeah. Just kidding. But I think I did win. Okay. What else were you saying about?
No, what do
about
you
your
have?
Trade?
Oh, just
Are we on to that now?
I just like Travion Henderson. I think he's going to stay on the field a lot. Regardless of if he's good or not, he's going to get a lot of touches and catches because he can pass block.
Yeah.
And they're just not going to take him off the field.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to make some bank?
Let's do it. What are we?
With Johnny Betts over here.
Well, last time one of us said something to that effect, we both got invested into Neo, which is going great.
Is it? Where are we at? Where are we at on this?
I'm underwater. I don't know about you.
Oh, dude, we're up at 5 bones. No, Poppy is way up.
Wow. One more of those and I break even.
Okay. Something really interesting. There was a rule change in the NFL this past offseason, Zach. And that rule change was, so there's throwing balls and kicking balls in the NFL. When they're doing a field goal, I'm explaining to you, I know you know this, but I'm explaining for the listeners. When they do a field goal, they bring out a kicking ball. The entire NFL history, maybe, you haven't been allowed to mess with the kicking balls until the day of. This past offseason, there was a rule change. You can now start messing with the kicking balls 3 days in advance.
What do you mean by messing with?
You can start wearing them in more. So they're like more, they're not as new, which I guess for kickers and I don't know if it's the same as throwing, but I you want to like wear in the ball. So it's just easier to, I don't know. I was reading about it a little bit, and for kickers, it should make it more predictable. And it's just more with like the feel that they practice on over and over and over again. And the reason I started looking into this was because I don't know if you've noticed, Zach, but these kickers are hammering kicks in the preseason. I mean, the one guy made a 70-yarder. That's not even the only one. Every game I look at the box score, 56-yarder, 57-yarder, 57-yarder. They're just hammering them. So here's the bet. There's the backstory. Here's the bet. Every single NFL game, so 16 games a week, there is a prop bet. Longest field goal made, over under. And if I remember correctly, it's usually around like 45.5 yards to 47.5 yards. I don't know what that'll be. It will probably adjust up a little bit, but I have a feeling that bet 16 times a week is going to cash at a pretty high percentage clip, which high percent in gambling, I mean, if it cashed at 67%, 2 out of 3 times, that's insane for gambling. I think it's going to cash even higher than that, because I think these kickers are just going to, not only are they going to be bombing them, but I think it's going to be more consistent also. So they're going to make the longer ones at a higher rate. So anyway, there's some, who knows if that'll be, if we'll look back on that, but I'm going to track it pretty religiously every single week this year. And we can come back to it on a week by week basis maybe and see how it's doing.
John, you just snapped back into sales mode so well. As you were talking, I was picturing Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street saying, "Your only problem is going to be that you wish you had bought more. I ask you not to judge me by my winners, but by my losers, because I have so few."
Dude, the only problem I have is don't have a bankroll big enough to, if I'm betting 16 games a week, I'm not exactly flush over here. Don't exactly have that much money to be throwing away.
Sure.
But it's going to win, so.
I like the logic behind it.
Yeah. So we'll see. I actually am kind of, and there's a longest punts bet also every week that I don't know if I'm gonna, I'm gonna be looking into that one too. So
Interesting.
there you go. There's your tip. Johnny Bets over.
Well, now your name is going to be Johnny Betts on my next episode where I give you a nickname.
Perfect. And that was all I had for us, Zach.
That was a perfect thing to end on. Message us about the Fantasy Football League. Come let John show you how it's done over there.
I'm taking kickers in round 1 this year. I'm high on kickers this year.
Johnny Kicks.
Yeah.
All right.
Zach,
shit.
you might. Yes, see, Zach forgot here. I'm gonna leave that lull in because Zach was waiting on me to do the outro, but he's forgotten that he's doing the outro this week.
I sure did. Wow. How the turntables. Thank you to Ian Hickey for our music and Alyssa Seaman for our artwork. And thank you all for listening and reading a review or comment. You can find us, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, on Spotify, on Apple Music. You can come chat with us and leave us a comment on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. See you next week.